know what? It's quiet. It's coming down to my quiet time, so I'm about to whoop top.
Okay. Well, being the nocturnal person that you are, by the time we finish what we're doing, you'll be ready to jump up and start dancing through the house.
And you know what? Really, that is probably what will happen around 5 or 6 o'clock. I turn my music on, and that's exactly what happens. I get to dance, and I get happy. I get
Look at
super
that.
happy. Mhm.
And I didn't even know, so I guess I really did know. It's funny how we know what we don't think we know. Just
Because we know it all. That's the key.
that is
Look,
the
I was
key.
at work today. I mean, the other day, probably about 2, 3 days ago, and a young lady was telling me something about, I just forget everything. I said, no, that's what you've told yourself for so long that you truly believe that you forget things. I said, but it's a part of you that does not forget a thing. That part of you is God that knows all and sees all. So we get all of these conversations from I don't know where, you
Everywhere.
know, yeah, picking up stuff that we need to put down. Like I mispronounced the word that you just corrected me on. Baby, I don't put them in the atmosphere. Mm-mm. I take it back.
And that's the
Oh,
good thing. We have the ability to make another choice, make a decision to switch a thing up easily in a moment, and it changes everything.
and it's good that we can do that. I guess that remix. That the creator, the source of our being, gives us that opportunity to renew our mind.
Okay. Well, I feel like there's renewal possibilities every single day. As a matter of fact, I'm the person that say I love new beginnings, and every morning when you wake up is a brand new beginning.
Right?
And after we finish here, I'll be going into my Passover season, which is the beginning of the year in terms of Hebrew culture and history, because it's the time that God brought the children of Israel up out of Egypt, out of bondage, out of Pharaoh's servitude. And
Hmm.
so is God said, let this be the beginning of months for you. So if it's the first month of the year, then it's the new year, and there's always a new year. There's always a new opportunity, a new beginning. So yeah, God has the master plan and put everything in place so that it all works for us. So
And I will say it's a new moon as well.
yes, well, yes, this holy season began with the new moon, which for us is like from, once the moon goes completely dark, and then you see that first crescent of light, because God said, let there be light because there was darkness. So, yes, the new moon begins all of it. And the new moon is always a new beginning, too. Like I said, new beginnings everywhere you look. So, there isn't any reason to not um, be the dream and pursue the dream and do the dream um, whenever you desire.
And I would say, and it is, I guess it would be desire, or whenever you feel like you're ready to move forward.
Well, you won't until you are ready.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready for whatever it is. And then you decide that, I guess the readiness bubbles up inside. And so it causes you to set an intention, to make a decision, to choose a thing, to do a renewing. So, yes, you have to be ready for it, because if you're not ready, you ain't going to do the thing.
That's right. And you're going to be stuck in that same cycle. We don't want to be stuck in the same cycles. We want to push forward in life.
Okay. So, as we talk about language and words, I'm just going to just play with what came out of your mouth, right? Is that push forward. And yes, I do agree with that. But pushing to me um, seems like more effort that needs to be
Oh,
um,
okay.
used or generated.
Mhm.
So again, I take laid back, um, driven intention or even choice. So
Mhm.
just or step in. Just step in. Just step in. That's my thing. Like, step in. If you've chosen something, step in because it's yours.
Okay.
So go get it.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Thank you for the correction and the wordplay.
All right. So it wasn't so much a correction. It just came to my mind when you said it. You know how we bounce off of each other, different things, and it
Hmm.
just came in here.
But
And
I have to, let me tell you, I appreciate the viewpoint of others because it allows me to see more than I saw.
okay,
You
in that
know?
moment
Yeah.
or in a moment, yeah, because
So
you
I
see
have
all
to say
kinds of
thank
things.
I have to say thank you. For me, I just want to say thank you because it allowed me to see something different.
Well, you're very welcome.
Mhm.
Thank you for being accepting and receiving.
Did you look at the show with Angie B? We did, I want to say Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday of this week.
Honestly, I have to say I have not been on Facebook
Ah,
a
okay.
lot, so no, I did not. So what was it about?
We were speaking about how source is whatever your consciousness is.
Okay, what else could it
And
be?
but it just got so, I guess we got so lifted in it, understanding because everybody had different perspectives. And then by the time we broke everything down, like source is whatever we say source is. So
Okay,
it's really nothing to argue about. It's nothing to fuss about. It's nothing to do anything about. It's only to observe the beliefs, and look at things from different perspectives and be open in every situation in life to receive something different.
okay, and again, source is a relationship. It is personal. It is always going to be whatever it is that you perceive it to be. Exactly what you said. So yeah, we can fight like vehemently about our belief, and it's simply that. It's our belief. We cannot impose anything that we believe on someone else. We can, like you said, be open to learning or remembering something that we may not have remembered before,
Mhm.
but it's truly, like they say, in the eye of the beholder. There's truth to that
And that's in everything.
in everything.
Everything from the food we eat, the clothes we wear, just the concepts of what we think is pretty and what's ugly. And, that's only your perception. And then that's your judgment. That's your mind state, to say that this is this and this is that. That's a whole something else to deal with right there.
Yeah, well, you know how we can both look at the very same object and describe it differently than the person that is looking at it with us. It's like art. Is everything is subjective,
Mm-hmm. But
but
I've learned to say, instead of saying I dislike something, I've learned to say, oh, I like the way this looks better than that.
okay.
Not saying that, the contrast of it is awful, or something I just hate and just don't want to be bothered with.
Hmm.
Oh no, look, I see it, I accept it, but I like it this way more. I like it when I get my way. I like it when things happen for me. I like it when everything is going, in the direction of the way that I'm thinking, and all of my thought processes are positive, and I'm not in a Debbie Downer, and I'm not looking down on life. I'm looking up to life and looking up to exploring things. So that's how I find myself speaking to myself.
Well, isn't that a beautiful way to experience life? That way, you are getting the best of everything. You're getting what you want, and
Hmm.
it's satisfying you. And it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else, and it does not impact anyone else negatively. Just to use that word,
Hmm.
because you get to choose in life. You get to choose it all. And so why not choose what works for you?
All day, every day.
All day, every day. As a matter of fact, why not even just choose? Because a lot of times we ain't doing the choosing. We're being influenced and influenced by others, and just taking on what someone else is saying that we should have, be, and do.
That is so true. That is so true. I was going down the timeline and I saw a young lady I think it was a reel, and she was saying, "Oh, I guess people aren't comfortable in their own homes anymore. I believe if your house was comfortable, you'll stay home more, right?" And so I'm looking at the concept of what she's saying. But you're in the bed at the same time. On the back side of it, it's like somebody preparing something to eat. Da da, this is that and the other. So I guess she's saying that her house is homey and shook. Da da, this is that and the other. And the best place to be is in the bed. And I'm like, okay, but then the universe's good substance is outside the house.
Well, I remember you last week were saying that your home is your place.
It
Your
is,
home
but not for
is
me to just
it is
just
your place. So that's what she was saying.
oh in a different way.
Yeah, sounds like to
Okay,
me. Yeah.
okay, because I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna listen to the birds. I'm gonna go for a walk. It's some things I'm gonna do outside because these four walls, at at a certain point in time, walls to me are confining.
It's box.
Especially when you know that you are a free spirit. You're a free agent. There's nothing stopping you from doing any freaking thing. So, the walls that you create are the walls that only you have created. But
Hmm.
then when you imagine yourself in a home or in a space where there is no ceiling, there are no walls, like all of this is no more than imagination in the first place. Everything in it was first an imaginational thought, oh, I would like a table here. Oh, I would like a mirror there. Or, you know what I'm saying? Everything is just something I thought of or we have thought of. And we put all of this beautiful life together from thought.
Yeah. So yeah, outside is wonderful. I sat outside for like 20 minutes before we needed to get together here, and I had to um, make myself get up. Like, I've got something to do. I can't stay here. So I do plan to go get another couple of minutes outside because it's such a lovely day. Like, see
Yeah.
birds chirp, and I think I probably mentioned before, I love watching the eagles just fly and dance across the sky. And I
Hmm.
always see them um, because for me, they represent freedom, power, and abundance because they're so free. Who can stop
Hmm.
them? They're so powerful. Like those wings, they just flap a little bit and then they just soar for miles and miles. And they're abundant. Like they're living the best life.
And I will say, just like us, because we are choosing our life. It would be different if something was being forced upon us. But a lot of the choices and things that we do, we are the only people that are doing it. And you've got to, at some point in time, choose to do the things that make you happy, that just make you feeling freaking bliss. Whatever your bliss is, you should
Right.
find your bliss and you should make it about your business on a daily basis to do it, to do whatever your bliss is. So lately, I've just been living like tomorrow doesn't exist.
um, Again, that's that freedom. It's the freedom to just let life be all that you came here for it to be.
Mhm. Because it could be another way. And we look at life and we always put things off. Well, I do this tomorrow and I'll do this and I'll do this. Okay, but then if you do that tomorrow, what is it taking away from your today? Because today is your experience. And
Okay.
are you saying to the universe, uh, well, I don't have to do that. I don't have to be so happy today. I could just
No,
wait till tomorrow. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
no, not for happiness. You can't put off happiness. That's
But
got
do you understand? I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, I like to paint, and I used to say all the time, "Oh, I'll paint tomorrow," or "I'll dance tomorrow." "Oh, I'm so tired, I'm just gonna dance tomorrow." I would always put off my happiness for tomorrow. I'm saying when there are things that you enjoy doing, whether it be walking in the park, or if you just want to go organize your kitchen because you've been talking about the containers up in there, everywhere. Whatever your happiness is, whatever you can do to keep you from freaking complaining, I suggest you do it.
so again, that's putting you first, which
Hmm.
is the thing that we have been untaught or never taught. Everything is way much more important than the thing that truly means something to us. So we'll get to us later, whenever, tomorrow, next year, when there's time. But let somebody come to you and say, will you do this? Not your thing, but their thing. You're going to jump and go do it.
What? I used to do that so much. I think I already told you the story about the tennis shoes. My grandson wanted some tennis
Yes.
shoes.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. I used to do that so much. And now I'm in a place where, okay, do I feel like doing it or do I not feel like doing it? Am I okay with telling them I don't feel like doing it or I don't want to be bothered right now? Oh, okay, I feel just fine. I feel good enough to say not today, not right now.
Put in Latiska first.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And for anybody who's listening, if all you do is everything for everybody else, stop. Do something for you. Do something you want. Find your bliss. Like Letiska said, if it's straightening out those containers in your kitchen cabinet, if it's going to take a bath, light some
Hmm.
candles, do the thing. Don't worry about all the stuff on the to do that does not get done. Do the thing that's going to make you feel good right now. If you're
And
so,
what I realized this whole entire week, this is just Wednesday. But since last week, this is what I realized. Since I've been just living in the moment, it has been nothing to worry about. I'm talking about through any time, point, and space, I've always had whatever it was I needed within that moment
mhm,
of this past, I would say 2 or 3 weeks. Now, prior to me doing this, because I'm always experimenting, because if I'm gonna teach you something, I want to actually live through the experience so that I can show you how to do it, so we can walk on water together. Okay. So
so
me trusting the universe to the point where, all right, look like I got $3. Right. But I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna use those $3 on something that I want. I'm just gonna get something that I want or something that I need or whatever it is. And then as soon as it goes out, it comes right back.
it's designed that way. It's like there's a saying or an expression or something. If your hands are always closed,
Hmm.
then you can't receive. If you're holding on to something,
Hmm.
then you're not making space for the rest of
No.
the abundance and blessings to come in. So there's no reason to, although sometimes it can feel like, all right, I've got these $3 and I can't see where the other is coming from, but it's always coming because you've already laid the groundwork for things to keep coming. And again, it goes to your belief in who and what you believe in, as well as in yourself and in your abilities. And again, just being, you said you're always experimenting, just be open to the experiment to see how the things are going to turn out. Because when you look back, you know that things have always taken that deep breath, exhaling, and believing that
Hmm.
It is what it is.
And that we are the source, and the source always has what it wants. You understand? Whatever the source wants, the source already has it. And because of our minds get in the way and say that we don't have it. The source of our being has it. We always have beyond what we even imagine we have.
It's those worry thoughts, those lies that we tell ourselves that can keep the things that we want away because we are more trusting in the not having, and then the thoughts, the words that say it's not, I don't know, I'm scared. It's the fear thing. When we're latched onto fear, it keeps the blessings around the corner until you can figure out how to let go of some of the fear.
And
And
then the control of you thinking that you have to do something to get something.
that's
That's
the
something
biggest
that
thing.
needs to be thrown away too. It's nothing that you have to do, but exist for the universe to pour out what is already yours in the first place.
Are you crazy, Latiska? How does something like that happen? We always have to work for what we want. We got to get
What?
out there and struggle and strive and scratch and
What?
claw and make it happen. Otherwise, it won't. So,
What?
what you talking about, girl?
I'm talking about the law of attraction where things just come to you because they are for you in the first place. They are for you not to have to do it in your own mindset, how you know to do it. Sometimes you have to step outside of your own head.
That's the key.
It's another way to do. It's 100. How did my mom used to say this? It's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. So it's 1,000 ways to do a thing, right? And because your awareness says this is the only way that I know, that is the way that you do, until you become aware of other ways to do the same exact thing.
Okay, so that's living within limitations. Like you said, those thoughts, those old belief patterns that were handed down from generation to generation, from person to person, those things, those limiting thoughts. Where'd you go, Latiska? Come back.
Here I am.
Your screen went black.
I
Yeah.
saw.
So those limitations set us up every time to um, accept fear, the lie of fear, the untruth that fear is, which feels so real when we just have those $3 and we're looking around like, what next? But yes, you need to. And limitation is just another aspect of fear. The things that don't work, they're all about fear. And so fear is something that when you talk to people, they're probably like, I ain't scared of nothing. What are you talking about? What is fear? But again, those limiting beliefs, feeling like we have to do something all by ourselves, or even feeling like we have to do something to make something happen, those are fear based thoughts and beliefs.
Because we could just be happy in whatever it is we're doing, whatever your whatever may be that you want to do. I can say prior to me working, I could be in a situation and my phone would ring and somebody would say, can you do X, Y, Z, such and such and such and such? And then whatever my bill was taken care of because my phone rang. Or like situations in my life where there was a transition or a tower moment going on in my life, and something the spirit inside of me would say, well, call such and such. And I'll pick up the phone and I would call somebody and they'll give me the information that I'm looking for. The one thing I was looking for was the one thing that the spirit told me, call, well, go on and call Jill. And then I get on the phone with Jill and we're talking, and then Jill say, well, such, 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 such. Ah, that's the answer. And there's following that guide, following and continuously trusting yourself. Please learn to trust yourself. You are
Right.
your best friend. You
And
are your best friend.
you just said something really important, following that guidance, because we're always being guided. And it's so easy oftentimes to say, oh, that's a crazy thought, or not do the thing. So then you're not following the guidance. You're not doing your part in the blessing making, because it's a joint venture. God whisper in your ear and say, call Jill.
Mm-hmm.
Call Jill and you get the blessing. If you didn't call Jill, you wouldn't have gotten that information that you needed, that guidance that was being given to you. You just were not open to accepting and receiving at that time. So,
And then I will say, if you don't trust yourself, so often I've learned that people that don't trust themselves have a hard time trusting other people.
hmm. Well, you can't be that which you are not. So if you're not trusting yourself, it's hard to trust someone else. That is true.
And so you've got to, again, become your own best friend. You cannot tell those soap operas to yourself. I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. I would rather, for Latiska, this is what Latiska does. I accept Latiska for who she is, just as she is. I do not ridicule Latiska. I do not judge Latiska. I just, Latiska, this is where you are, and I accept you exactly as you are, where you are.
That means that you're accepting your reality. You're not looking for something that doesn't make any sense, you know, because if you are not accepting who you are and where you are, then you can't even begin to I want to say come up with any answers or solutions, or you are not open to the guidance that comes to you that says, okay, so I'm here, so this is what you need to do next, you
Mhm.
know, or that could be, well, not trusting and believing you is denying who you are. So if you're in denial, then that's not a place where you can receive guidance and blessings, because you're throwing it all away. I can't have that. It's not for me. I don't believe it. I don't trust me.
Mhm.
I'm not ready for it. So
Oh, wow. Okay, now that was deep right there.
it gets pretty deep. It
Mhm.
does. I mean, but it doesn't have to be so deep that we can't. Well, again, I guess sometimes we just have to sit down and take a breath so that we can maybe discern and tell the difference between what we really think and what our reality is. I mean, sound like I'm saying the same thing, but it always it comes back to you, to tapping into you and tuning into you and letting go of some of the other stuff, so that we are opening up ourselves to be able to. It's about receiving. I think we're talking about receiving tonight, right? So that you can receive what's yours, what's coming for you.
And I want to give you guys a bit of homework to do. I really do. I want you to sit down and actually think about what you lack. If you can write one thing on a piece of paper, I want you to send us the message via what is it, DM? Is it DM us? I want y'all to DM us or put it in the comments, because in actuality, nobody lacks a thing.
That is
We
true. So,
only lack something that's not even realistic. That would be something you don't lack a thing. We are all abundant. We all have everything that we need now. Even when you talk about your wants, you already have those too. But if you keep telling the universe that you want something, that means you haven't received that something yet.
Okay. And maybe you've not received it because you don't believe that you should receive it, that you deserve to receive it, that it even exists for you. Because when we are living in limitations, we can't see outside the box of limitations. So that's a good homework assignment. If you're feeling like you don't have something that you want or that you need, then when you share that in this space, we can probably help you see that you do have it, or help you open up.
You have the equivalent of what it is you need
Okay,
at this moment. You understand what I'm saying? You have the equivalent of whatever's in that space of wanting. You already have something already in that space. So
true.
why are you not appreciating that something that is there? Why are you desiring something other than what is in your reality?
Well,
Why?
I'm so glad you said why you're not appreciating what you already have, because it, again, as we've talked about, I think every week, is having gratitude and appreciation for what you have. Because what you have is so much more than what you give it credit for. I mean, as basic as having a key to be able to come into a place that you call your own, you know,
Mhm.
to be able to drink a bottle of water, to wake up, to wake up, to wake up.
Mhm.
There is gratitude and appreciation in waking up every day, and you've done it every day up to this point, and the likelihood is that you will wake up tomorrow.
Mhm.
Because I'm not setting any limitations by saying I might not wake up tomorrow. I'm looking forward to waking up tomorrow. So I'm giving
Mhm.
thanks today for having waken up today.
Tomorrow. Mhm.
Giving thanks for the expectation that I will wake up tomorrow.
Now I was reading a book. Have you ever heard of Neil Donald Walsh?
Yes, love his work.
Okay, was reading a book, listening to an audio, Conversations with God. Okay, one of his, cannot tell you which volume it was. I may have been either volume 2 or 3. In that particular book, even transition is a choice.
Yes, I
So
believe
we hear
that.
people say, oh, it just happened overnight. Oh, it just, just so spur of the moment, it just happened. But then I've met people, like I've met a lady when I was living in Jacksonville. Her son transitioned, and she said that her son came back to visit her and said that he wanted, right? That it was a choice. It was a choice that he had in that moment. So all of this, that is the beauty of life to me, to
Yeah,
know that you can continue to choose, instead of, like things will always come, depending on if we're thinking correctly, we'll just fly through life, oh, this is a beautiful life. We do have those hang-ups. All of us have those hang-ups, those taught behaviors, those, um, what would you call, like the loops in the subconscious mind that likes to play. We all do. And so those are the things that you try to, for me, I try to become aware of them. Because if I am aware of them, then that way I can kind of work with them.
right.
When you're not aware that your mind is playing tricks on you, that you're not the mind and you're not the body, and sometimes your mind speaks, sometimes it's saying some things to you. And I was in meditation, and I'm leading up to something. I was in meditation, and so you know how you do the body scan, and you start at your feet, and you work your way up. But then I realized in that body scan that my body was in my awareness. It wasn't like
Something
my awareness
you
was,
get that
it
again?
was, my body was inside of my awareness, right? So then the longer I
Oh,
was set
okay.
in meditation, the longer I sat in meditation, there were no boundaries or no limitations to my body. Like the line, what you we may think we may see,
Okay.
you know, this
The form.
it became invisible. The form of it became invisible, and I became one with all things in the meditation. Like I'm just one with every freaking thing. With my eyes closed, there's no separation in anything. There is the melanin in that darkness, that state of everything and nothingness. And I became aware of it. And I was like, oh, so really, all of this is no more than mine.
It is, but I meditate every day, and I know there are many different ways to approach meditation or to practice it. And I rarely feel what you've just described. I rarely get to that place. And that's often the goal of meditation, to be able to get to where there's just like the nothingness, but yet the everything.
Mhm.
So,
And it knocked me off my feet. Like I came out of meditation jolly, very jolly, because it was like it just was no separation. That's the best way I can see it. I really realized at that moment that my body was inside of my awareness. And then after I realized my body was inside of my awareness, it was like my body disappeared. And there was only awareness of the all and nothing.
okay, true alignment, like nothing separating, the body not separating, the illusion of the body not separating, because the body is so real and solid, and it's what we are and who we are. And so for that to fade into, or to um I can't think of another word except dissolve, for that to dissolve into everything or nothing, or however you want to put that, is an
Yeah,
amazing thing.
it was amazing because I realized that my name had been given to me. The clothes that I wear are only my perception of how I perceive myself. Everything was mine. But then I began to wonder why my mind perceived in such a way that Latuska is, I think you said it on the show, Latuska is larger than just the name because it's not even about Latuska. It's the surrender to the what I am aware of being. And
Okay.
so I think the ego of Latuska being, you know, larger than life or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Latuska, that part of Latuska realized that she was the existence of life.
You are way more than the label. We were talking about labels, the labels that we put on ourselves, that others put on ourselves, which are a form of putting limitations on us, because you are more than a mother, a sister, a daughter, um, a partner. Um,
And then in pure awareness, you can be whatever you want to be.
that
Because
too.
even though you are all of those things,
Yeah.
we are all of those things, you can also bring into your awareness something totally different.
At any time. It's that choice thing. It's about knowing that even the mind, as you've been talking about, is way larger than how we perceive it and use it and work with it, and or what am I looking for? How we best use it, or you know, all of us is so much more than what we
And
realize.
to get to that point where, and I think we spoke about this last week, subconscious mind does not know we, they, our. Subconscious mind only knows I because there's only one. So even when we think we are just our conversation, just how we speak separate. It's our words separate us when there is no separation in us. There's
Okay,
only we, our, and us, but we use things like
me, mine, and our me.
me, my, I, they, them, they said, stuff like that. And there's no they there. That's only you perceiving something.
Well, we can even go so further to say that when we are saying they or what it is, it's just us projecting what we are feeling and thinking outwards, because we are all reflecting back to us who and what we are. So we are seeing who we are while we're talking about the they and the this thing and whatever. So does that make any kind of sense to you?
I will say, if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to me. I'm learning how to say we.
Okay.
You know, I was talking to a young lady. She was asking me about forgiveness, and I said, forgiveness works both ways because you got to forgive yourself for whatever triggered that person, and then you got to forgive them for whatever the reaction was, right? And so I look at forgiveness like I forgive us. I forgive us for seeing separation in one another. Because there could be no me without you, and there could be no you without me. If I've never perceived Yaminah, Yaminah would never be in my life. You understand? So it could be no you without me and no me without you.
Well, that
And that is how you enter into my universe. I'm not talking about other people's universe. I'm talking about my own particular universe, my being.
uh-huh,
That's how you enter in because I perceived you through Angie B. Prior to that, you were not in my universe, right?
right.
Okay, and because of my perception and our reflection towards one another, you have been and I have been in your universe as well since
That's true.
that moment in time. So that's why I would say I appreciate Angie B. I appreciate you, but I appreciate being aware that prior to and noticing those people that are constantly in your universe. Because it's only your perception, it's only your thought that brings them to you. It's only you drawing these things unto you, whatever it is or whoever it is, unto you. And so you're drawing them. You have to sometimes ask yourself why.
Well,
And I know for us, I can say for me, from my side, it's spirit talk. I enjoy this spirit talk conversation. I love that we can be just as free and we can interact in such a way that is almost like exploring each other's mind, you
it
know?
definitely is an exploration. And to connect it all to what you said earlier is whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, we live in an attraction based universe. And so Angie B was the connecting magnetation or attraction, bringing the two of us together. But, God is, like I said, the master conductor,
Mhm.
just making all the magic happen and connecting the dots. So it was just, it was the time for the dots to come together. So here we are.
And look, I'm so excited about these dots because more dots are becoming available to us, you guys. Oh my God, more dots are coming. More dots are coming. I'm going to make sure that we have more guests on the show so that we can really get into this metaphysical world, this spiritual place in which we live and dwell in always, and that we can kind of uh, poke holes in the boxes that you have created for the soul.
That's sweet. Like imagine a box with full of holes poked in it with spirit just pouring through the openings.
Yeah,
That's
just come the light just coming in. Oh, okay, that sounds like me until it's ready to just come out, just bust through this box. And
yes.
so that is my greatest uh that would be my greatest thing to do is to help you guys get out of the box. It took me almost 50 years to get out of my box, or even to begin thinking outside of the box. And if I can help someone while they're early on in their spirituality or in their walk, why not? I would have loved to have, and I probably, no, I didn't. I guess if I would have went outside of the box earlier, searching, looking for things, I probably would have had more in my awareness.
Well,
But to step outside of your own self-imposed box is the greatest thing that you can do.
I always say that we're all on a journey, our own individual journey, and we get to where we are ultimately going to be when it's our time to be there. So being open or even having an awareness that there's something more or something different. Um, that's the setup. That's your setup. That's your awareness kicking in that there is more for you. And I would like to believe that you said you'd like to help people to get outside of the box. If anyone, whomever, is in our space right now, whether live or watching the replay or however you come across what we are doing here together, then that person is right for being helped outside of the box, or they're ready to be more than the box.
I agree.
Okay.
Because it's all in our DNA. That's the book, baby. We have powerful DNA, and we have powerful DNA for a reason. We forgive all the people that did not teach us how powerful we were, and we connect to all of the promises and the purposes of our life journey on this path of being. That's it. We're just in the path of being because we're not becoming anything. We are on our path of being. And so, in saying that, I want to thank my homie, Yaminah.
Likewise, my sister. It is such a pleasure getting together with you because although bottom line we say the same thing, we say the same thing over and over again. It's never said the same way, and it's such a pleasure experiencing um, what actually is the result of coming together.
Because I think it's helping. I think it's helping all of us, everybody involved. You know, not just not just you, not just me. It's helping us. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay. All right, y'all, I'm back. I apologize. I had somebody. Can y'all hear me? I had somebody move some furniture for me earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to go and get through with that and get my grass cut so I can be happy and pleased with my yard.
Yeah.
Somebody told me to get some
Oh,
clover seeds so I can get my grass growing back right. So
all right.
I'm in the process of getting this thing back together.
Yeah, I know you like to put your hands and feet in the dirt, so I can just imagine you with your straw hat on, with your trowel in your hand, digging up some
Acting like
dirt.
I know what I'm doing. Acting like I know what I'm doing right now.
Listen, you do what you do, and if you don't know what you're doing, you'll figure it out.
I will figure it out. You are so right. I put me
Yeah.
some water in the windowsill last night because looking at the moon, I was like, oh, the moon is so pretty. I'll make me some moon water. So I made me some moon water last night, and I'm gonna drink that before I go to bed tonight. Put me
Okay.
some more in the windowsill, and I thought about making some water, to get the energy of the sun. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna find a nice window where the sun is just directly hitting it. I'm gonna make me some sun water.
Well, I have a sister-in-law who first time I heard anything like that, she said she makes sun tea. So she does just that. Put her tea bag, her tea inside of her glass, and sit
Mm-hmm.
in the sun, and just makes herself some sun tea. So, however you,
I'm
or
gonna drink me some vitamin D.
okay, yeah. So, however you absorb nature, it's a good thing. Nature can never not can never fail.
Okay. Well, all right, you guys. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Well,
I'm
thank you
have
so much,
I'm gonna
Leticia.
have us some. I'm gonna have us some guests come on pretty soon. I have a few people lined up. It's gonna be back to back to back. I didn't want to start it and then have all these gaps in between. I wanted to actually get it rolling. So I have a few on
Okay.
my list so we can have some real stuff to talk about. Real, yeah.
All righty then. Well, you enjoy your bath later and the rest of your evening, and
Oh,
enjoy that moon water, and have a great evening.
you as well. Go get you some. Go play with the birds. Go get you some birds now.
Yes, let me do
I'll talk
that. Thank
to you
you.
later.